Welcome back to My Kitten Reads. I'm Eleanor and this is the results of my Triad chapter video from 2 weeks ago. I didn't post last week, I'm afraid. I ended up having to do about 2 weeks worth of studying in one weekend because the graphic novel that I was running late on finally arrived, but it was also quite heavy, so it took me a while to read. Yes, but I have done a bit of reading this week of the first 1 or 2 chapters. There's a couple where they were short chapters, so I did 2 chapters, but you know, tried a chapter of the first 5 subscription box books that were on my TBR in alphabetical order, to see whether I was going to keep them on my TBR or get rid of them whenever I happen to actually donate the pile of books that is growing. Yeah. Probably not anytime soon, given I'm still in social isolation. However, I have actually done the reading, and out of the 5 books that I chose, I'm keeping 2 and getting rid of 3. So, yeah, that's going to reduce my TBR a bit. That's good. So, funnily enough, the ones that I read 2 chapters of are the ones that I'm keeping. So we'll start with those. And the first one that I want to keep is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This is YA, and it's a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. I read the first couple of chapters, which cover the funeral of one of the 12 sisters. She's not the first sister to die, she's like the 4th or 5th or something, but yeah. And it also involves the announcement of a pregnancy of their father's new wife at the wake, because that's appropriate. But I really got sucked in. I read the first 2 chapters really easily, and it's a fairy tale retelling, which I like. So I am definitely keeping this one, and will hopefully actually finish the book at some point. So the second one, and it surprised me a little, that I want to keep is The Fray by Emily Dale. So I knew almost nothing about this, but it starts out at a disciplinary hearing where our main character, Fallon Lords, she's come back from a tour overseas where there was an incident where she used hand-to-hand combat to save some of her men. She's been put on leave for the moment, and then by the end of the second chapter, she was out for a walk in the suburbs, trying to get rid of some restlessness, and the scar on her hand keeps itching, keeps hurting, and then suddenly this random person turns up, grabs hold of her, and there's a bright light, and suddenly she's really not in suburbia anymore. So it's like a Portal fantasy, but with an adult. And I liked the character. Characters are important to grab me, and I did like what I read of Captain Fallon Lords. So I will hopefully read this again at some stage. So the other 3 books I will probably be getting rid of at some point. I'm taking them off my TBR because they just didn't grab me in the first chapter. So the first one on the list is Scales of Empire by Kylie Chan, who's an Australian author who I've never read before. It's a world ship adventure thing. In the first chapter, it's quite a long chapter, our main character, Jian, gets offered the opportunity to join the new world ship that's about to leave, given that the world ship in front of them is about to has pretty much announced it's going to be a success. And so she goes home and to talk to her mother about it, about whether she's going to take this opportunity. The thing that really turned me off is that within the first couple of pages, once she finds out that this is an opportunity, her boss, who, it flat out says that she's Asian African, and then it calls out the fact that her boss is a white male relic, and then he says one of her duties in the world ship, apart from being a security officer, would be to be inseminated twice by random people in order to keep the next generation going on this world ship. And I just went, no. I finished the chapter, but I'm just not comfortable. Like, I get that the whole thing about a generation ship is that it takes generations to get to where it's going, but I'm really uncomfortable with the fact that they were just bluntly like, you're going to be inseminated by 2 people, it's going to be controlled, and you'll be responsible for raising those 2 children. And I'm like, what? Yeah, it felt awkward and icky. So I don't think I'm going to continue with this one. The next one that I'm not going to continue with is The Tides Between by Elizabeth Jane Corbett. I'm a bit disappointed about this one because it's historical and it's set on a ship on its way to Port Phillip Bay in Australia. But I just didn't like it. I didn't really connect with Bridie, the main character. I didn't like her mother and stepfather. The whole thing just felt awkward and a bit creepy. There's this adult man with his wife who's paying attention to Bridie. I don't know whether it's supposed to be in any sexual way, but like, yeah, it just felt awkward and a bit wrong. I don't know. I can't really describe how I felt. I just didn't connect with the characters and the whole situation of them being in steerage class, packed in together on this ship on the way to Port Phillip Bay. I don't think this is something I'm particularly interested in continuing, even if it is about fairy tales. So I'm really disappointed I didn't want to continue this, but I don't. So that will go on the discard pile. And the final one that I'm probably not going to keep is White Cat by Holly Black. It's possibly not surprising given that I have DNF'd Holly Black before. I've DNF'd The Cruel Prince, which is one of her more recent novels. But honestly, what turned me off is that the protagonist is a teenage boy. I have to actually be really interested in it for whatever reason to just like a protagonist that's a white male teenage boy who has apparently killed a woman before. So, and that's all in the first chapter. So I'm like, yeah, given that I didn't like the last Holly Black I tried to read and I'm turned off by the character from the start, and I'm a character-based reader, and it didn't grab me. So I'm putting White Cat by Holly Black on the discard pile. So that is my most recent Try a Chapter video. That's the results. So that's 3 books that are off my TBR. Yay! And 2 that I will hopefully actually read at some point soon. Maybe. Because I'm doing really badly with my goal to read, book subscription books at the moment. So hopefully, having tried a couple, I'm actually going to pick one up soon. Maybe. But I'm kind of comfort reading because COVID. But yes, maybe after my next essay is due in a few weeks, because that's probably going to take my brain power. Anyway, that's me. Let me know if you liked any of those books that I've talked about before and what you liked about them, particularly the ones I think that I am putting on the discard pile, because I'd like to know what other people see in them, because they were obviously in subscription box books for a reason, and particularly like Holly Black and Kylie Chan, they're very well known and very well published authors. So I don't know what it is that's bouncing me off them, but maybe if you like them, let me know in the comments and what you like about them. It probably won't change my mind, but I'd really like to hear what about those authors people actually like. So yeah, I will see you all again really soon. Bye.